I've known Dan and Jan most of my life, so I've known John all of his life. And we're both from the same, we're all from the same hometown in Ohio, but we also have cottages in the same area. And I'm not saying Dan and Jan and I lost touch with one another, but people's lives get complicated. I moved to a different state. They moved around a lot. They lived in a lot of different states, but the cottage was always someplace where we'd always touch base again, no matter where we were in our lives. And we just happened to not be up here at the same time, not vacationing at the same time. Didn't really put a whole lot of thought into it. Again, people's lives are complicated, mine included. So, and our kids are different ages, even though Dan and Jan and I are the same age. My kids are much younger than theirs are. So they weren't friends. And one July evening, we were at mutual friend's cottage just at a party. I think it was someone's anniversary, and ran into Dan and Jan, and they started to catch me up with their lives and said, "You probably don't know that the two of us haven't been up here together in quite a few years." I didn't know that because I really hadn't seen them at the cottage, so I didn't really I hadn't observed that. And then they went on to explain to me why, is that their son John had been deeply involved in addiction and was in recovery, just had started recovery, his recovery process, and they were now able to come up here together for the first time in a long time. So that was, and understandably they were people who have family issues drop hints to see what someone's response is going to be. Most people don't just blurt it out.
To gauge.
Yeah, to see whether someone's going to respond in a way that's supportive or not.
Right.
And so we, kind of did that conversation for a while, and I just finally stopped Dan. I said, "Do you know what I do for a living?" And he said, "I'm embarrassed to say I have no idea what you do." I said, "Well, I work a lot with drug courts and mental health courts. That's pretty much my whole work life. So this is a world I know. And work a lot with SAMHSA, which is the federal agency that deals with substance use and mental health, and have a lot of contracts through SAMHSA, and that's what I spent, that's my career, that's what I do." So that really opened up, obviously, the conversation to be as open and
not judgmental and safe.
Yeah, very safe. Mm-hmm. And then they went on to tell me that one of John's goals during his recovery was to establish an organization that could help other people in recovery. At that point, not really knowing what that was going to look like so much, but knew that that's what he wanted to do. And I said, "What can I do to help?" And so they asked me to be on the board, and I said, "Be happy to." So that was 5 years ago, maybe, I think. Mm-hmm. And I think what I bring to the board, there's a lot of what I don't bring to the board. That's a longer list. But I think what I bring to the board is just the fact that I work in the national arena in this area. Mm-hmm. Just in terms of information, resources, knowing sort of the shortcuts to the resources, because I think that's one of the biggest challenges that families have or individuals have, is they don't know where to go if something happens. And we do a lot of just triaging, which you probably know that. A lot of triaging. Someone has a child in Denver who's struggling with in one case recently was alcohol abuse, and she was ready to start treatment. And I happen to have a coworker who's a distance employee who is in Denver and is in the treatment world, and so we were able to connect them. And then I just stepped away from it because I'm of no value. I just connected them, and it sounds like it's turned out well. She's happy with her program, and so more on that level.